Golfers are always looking for quick tips to shave shots off their score. Yet ironically, many completely miss out one of the lowest hanging fruits out there for better performance. Investing just a few minutes preparing your body to perform can really help how you move and feel on those first few swings. What does your pre-round preparation look like? Do you warm the body up? Do you just hit balls? Or do you go to the golf course cold? Let me know in the comments below, and whilst you're there, check out the pinned comment for my free Warming Up for Golf ebook. So in this video, I'm going to be going over a quick follow along banded warm up that you can do before you next tee it up. Now, if you don't have a resistance band, I highly suggest you get one and just keep it in your golf bag. Let's get stuck in. So we're going to start with some shoulders. So we're going to start with some pull aparts. I'm going to take an underhand grip on my band, hands about at shoulder height, and I'm just going to pull the band apart across the front of the chest, hold, and then back to the middle. So I'm pulling apart, squeezing at my end range of motion, and then bringing it back into the middle. Now you can adjust the band's difficulty. So if I move my hands further out, less tension in the band, that's going to make it easier. If I move my hands in a little bit, it's going to increase the band's challenge. So you can adjust that for every single exercise. So we're going to pull the band apart, squeeze, and then back to the middle. From there, we're going to work into some different angles. So these diagonal band pull aparts. But as we do this, we want to be nice and random here. So shoulder is a full 360 ball and socket joint. So the more different angles we can attack it from, the better. So as I'm doing this, I'm just being nice and random here, working into some different angles, exploring into those shoulders. From there, I'm going to go to an overhand grip, and I'm going to take the band overhead. Now from here, I'm going to work into some side bends. So we know that these kind of lateral parts of the body are so key in the golf swing, getting into that side bend position. So we're just going to work into some side bends. So I'm not really pulling the band apart here. I'm just using it as a bit of a guide, keeping it overhead, trying to keep my arms fairly straight and just working into some side bend one way and then the other, working through my max range of motion. So your range of motion is probably going to be a little bit different. Just work through your range of motion, hold at that end range for a second or so each side, and just open up those sides. From there, we're going to keep the double overhand grip. We're going to pull the band across the chest, and we're going to work into a golf posture. Now from here, we're going to come into some banded golf posture rotations. So band pulled across the chest, I'm going to rotate to the right, hold, and then rotate to the left and hold. So I'm keeping the band pulled apart, keeping those shoulders engaged, and I'm just rotating one way and then the other way. Now, unlike the golf swing, your head can come along for the ride here. So you don't have to keep looking down at the ball. You can just allow the head to follow the trunk and just open up through the trunk and again, get some more work into those shoulders. Next, we're going to come into some banded bent over rows. So I'm going to have my band flat on the floor, and from here I'm going to carefully step on the band with both feet. So I want the band to be securely under the center of the feet. I'm going to grip the band in each hand and I'm going to work into an exaggerated golf posture. So a little bit of softness in the knees, hips are pushed back, and my torso is bent over here. Now I know this would be more exaggerated than golf posture, so it's imagining you've got a very small club. From here, I'm going to keep this angle and I'm going to pull up, squeeze at the top, and then back down. So as I row up, I'm rowing my hands back towards my hips, pausing at the top, and then lowering back down. So I don't want to be coming up and out of posture here. I want to keep my posture, keep my back nice and neutral if I can, pull up, pause, and then back down. We'll do a couple more. Pull up, pause, squeeze at the top. We're going to be working the back here. We're going to be working the rear parts of the shoulders. We're going to work on kind of getting nice and strong in an exaggerated golf posture. Next, we're going to stay in that exact same position, but rather than pulling up through the upper body, we're going to drive and push through the floor, through the legs. So the hips go back and down. We load into this part here, our hamstrings, and then from there, we push through the floor to stand up. So hips back and down, load into the hamstrings, the upper body is along for the ride, and then we push through the floor. We'll do a couple more. As we do this again, we don't want to be kind of losing that shape through the upper body. We don't want to get too much knee bend either. We want to feel like the hips are doing the motion. And then pushing back up. One more, slow and controlled on the way down. Load the hamstrings and then drive through the floor. One more to finish up. And we're going to do a kind of full body movement here. So we're going to have a split squat through the lower body, and then we're going to add some rotation into that through the upper body. So, I'm going to have my right foot forward to start, left foot on the tiptoes. I'm going to get nice and grounded down through this right foot. I'm going to take an underhand grip on the band with my right hand and an overhand grip through my left hand. Again, really getting grounded down through this lead foot, slight little pull apart of the band, and then I'm going to rotate to the right, hold, and then back to the center. So I've got to rotate over this stable lead leg. So you really should feel kind of lead glute working hard here as you press down into the ground, as you stabilize yourself. And then obviously we've got the trunk rotation in a slightly more golf specific kind of posture happening here. So a little pull apart on the band, rotate, hold at that end range, make sure you don't lose that stability. So stay nice and stable, feel that lead leg working hard, hold, and then we'll swap over. So left foot forward, left hand under, right hand over, get nice and ground down through this left foot, slight little pull apart, and then we're rotating to the left. Now don't be surprised as you do this if one side feels a little bit tougher than the other. Perfectly normal. We're just working again for your max range of motion and just really firing up through this lead leg. So we want that stability through that lead side. You should really feel that lead leg working hard here as you turn the upper body over it. And there we have it. Just a few minutes preparing your body to perform seems a pretty worthwhile investment of time to me. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you don't already. And if there's any future topics you want me to cover, let me know in the comments below.